For months later, after several tense confrontations with her mother, Olivia now had enough money and finally moved into a beautiful apartment in one of the best neighborhoods in Lagos. She bought all the furniture she needed. She was truly on cloud nine. She was so happy and couldn't believe she had finally left the rotten neighborhood where she was born and raised. Seeing as she was now in good health, she raised her standards. She no longer dated modest men in low-end neighborhood motels. Now, Olivia only frequented luxurious places where she could find the richest men in town. And of course, the price of her services had increased 1,000-fold. The wealthy businessmen, very satisfied with Olivia's services, gave her a lot of money without even counting. Olivia was the happiest person in the world, especially since she performed in luxurious, overpriced hotels, where she was treated like a queen. Most of the time, her extremely wealthy clients left her at the hotel after being satisfied, because they had to go back to their families. So Olivia was enjoying these precious and privileged moments, relaxing and enjoying the pool, and especially the magnificent setting to which she now had access. Olivia was eating caviar, drinking champagne, while making the most of the service of the hotel employees who were at her disposal. And of course, Olivia was taking thousands of photos and videos in these dream settings in order to post them on her social networks, especially on her Instagram account, which she had changed the name and fame of Olivia's Luxury Life. She posted magnificent photos with the caption, "Work hard, and you will get what you deserve, because life doesn't give gifts." Every time her mother saw Olivia's post, her heart broke, and she wondered, how does this girl manage to have all this money, knowing that she doesn't work? I hope she doesn't put her life in danger. So Olivia has the money, and she leaves me to starve here. My God, protect her, so that nothing bad happens to her. Olivia's two poor friends, Uchechi and Rebecca, laughed out loud every time they saw Olivia's Instagram post in luxurious locations, living her dream life, while saying, "Oh my God, this girl is really ready to do anything to get money. It's really sad. Who knows what she's capable of doing to get money and look rich?" Rebecca asked. Uchechi replied, "Of course, she's dating rich men to get that money. Because the lady is a real lazy person who is incapable of working with her hands to earn her own money." For their part, our former best friends from university, Melanie, Christine and Sophie, were shocked and scandalized every time they saw Olivia's beautiful Instagram posts in dream locations. But they always ended up making fun of her, laughing and saying, "This poor girl is really determined to look rich. She must really suffer in hotel rooms to get that money. She's pathetic and stupid, this Olivia." Then Melanie, the richest of the group, rushed to write a comment on this particular post, saying, "A poor girl will always be a poor girl, no matter how beautiful the place she is," accompanied by the crying laughing emoji. Seeing this comment from Melanie, Olivia got really angry, saying, "These stupid girls, are they never going to stop bothering me?" She immediately deleted the comment, because it could lower her popularity rating on social networks, especially since she already had more than 10,000 followers on her Instagram account, and she had the ambition to be followed by millions of people. As time went on, Olivia had more and more wealthy clients, including governors, wealthy entrepreneurs, and even famous artists. One day, after spending several hours in seventh heaven in a luxury hotel room, a minister who had become addicted to Olivia's performances, to the point of falling in love with her, took her to the hotel's backyard and gave her the keys to the expensive, luxurious Range Rover he had just bought for her. Olivia couldn't believe it. She was so happy, she almost went crazy. It was incredible for her to realize how much worth she had. After suffering all her life in a rotten neighborhood, Olivia really saw her life flash before her eyes as she looked at this magnificent, brand new Range Rover. She thanked her client, the minister, crying with joy, while telling him, "Thank you so much for this superb car. I really don't know how to thank you." The minister responded by saying, "It's nothing, my baby, compared to the joy of life you give me." Then he gave Olivia a large wad of money, precisely $40,000. Olivia almost fainted with joy, because this sum of money represented, for her, several months of hard work in hotel rooms. Arriving home, she sat back, relaxing, while saying to herself, "I finally succeeded in my life. God sent me men who knew my true worth, to the point of buying me a car that I could drive only in my dreams. Now I even have enough money to travel to the most beautiful destinations in the world. In fact, I think I'm going to book a first-class flight and a hotel suite in Dubai." Then she wrote in Instagram stories, "Dubai, rich Olivia is coming." She instantly received thousands of hearts and admiring comments on this post. Her number of subscribers increased every day. It made her very happy to be so appreciated and admired. The next day, despite the fact that she still hated her mother because she blamed her for not having fought hard enough to ensure a better standard of living for them, Olivia still went to a supermarket to do several grocery shopping trips. Then she went to her old rotten neighborhood to give the food to her mother. When she saw her arrive in the neighborhood, everyone was shocked to see how much more beautiful and clean Olivia had become. She was even more radiant than in her Instagram post, and her luxurious Range Rover shone so much that it left the residents of the rotten neighborhood speechless. When her two friends, Uchechi and Rebecca, saw her, they screamed, "Our best friend has really succeeded in her life. Olivia, you are so beautiful, and you shine brighter than the stars. Your Range Rover is so magnificent." Olivia answered them, saying, "Thank you, girls, but that's normal, because I work very hard for this." Her friends replied with admiration, "My God, Olivia, what kind of work do you do to have so much money?" Olivia told them coldly, "That's enough, you're asking me too many questions. I don't have enough time. I came to visit and bring my mother some food. Take my business card and call me in a month when I get back from Dubai. We'll talk about it again." Uchechi and Rebecca were very happy to have finally gotten Olivia's number, because they no longer had her contact information and only saw her on social media. Once at her mother's house, the latter was very happy to see her daughter again, even though Olivia had abandoned her several long months ago. But Olivia was disgusted to see her feet again in this miserable house, because it brought back too many bad memories. Her mother told her, "My daughter Olivia, I'm glad to know you're well. But how do you manage to have so much money? I hope you're not doing anything illegal." Olivia replied angrily, "Mom, I just came to give you some food. So people don't say that I'm letting you starve to death in this rotten shack you call home. So please, stop asking me these kinds of questions immediately. Because I work hard for my money. I'm not lazy, and I don't like poverty like you." Her mother was really sad to be despised again by her daughter because she was poor. Olivia added, turning her back on her crying mother, "I'm gone, I'm traveling to Dubai in 2 days. I would have left you in my apartment so you could look after my house, but I don't want my neighbors to know that my mother is a poor woman. So until next time." Her mother was completely desperate to realize how much her daughter had become even more self-conscious and rude. 2 days later, Olivia boarded the plane. She was seated in first class, on Emirates Airlines. It was her first time on a plane, and she did it in style. Olivia ordered caviar, which had become one of her favorite dishes. Not to mention champagne, which she couldn't live without. Throughout the flight, Olivia didn't stop taking photos and videos. She even asked the flight attendants to film her. This was one of the privileges that first class offered. She was treated with great care by the employees. Arriving in Dubai, Olivia was taken to her luxurious hotel suite, overlooking Dubai's most prestigious skyscrapers. She was amazed by so much luxury, telling herself that she was absolutely right to work hard in hotels, because it is thanks to this work that she can finally live her dream life. A few days later, she began flooding her Instagram account with photos and videos of herself in the most luxurious places in Dubai, shopping in the biggest luxury stores, or taking pictures of herself in the most expensive cars in the world, such as Rolls-Royce, Bugatti, and Ferrari. Not to mention her luxury tours in the famous Dubai desert. Just a few hours after her post, her views on Instagram literally flew away. And a few days later, Olivia was now followed by more than 2 million subscribers. She was overjoyed, because her dream of being in the top 3 most followed influencers in Nigeria was taking shape. Back in Lagos, Olivia had become a true queen, admired by many young girls who dreamed of having her life. The richest men in the country who all dreamed of putting her in their bed, whatever the price. Her former best friends from university, on the other hand, were starting to get jealous of her, because they finally realized that Olivia was now really rich, even though they had a good idea how she earned that money. Melanie, the richest girl, spent her time leaving demeaning comments on Olivia's Instagram post, especially on her photos and videos where she's in Dubai, saying, "You must have really suffered for several months in hotel rooms to be able to afford this trip to Dubai," accompanied by the crying laughing emoji. And the other girls from university, as well as other students, would come and laugh under Melanie's comments, making fun of Olivia. But Olivia was always replying to Melanie's inbox, saying, "You idiot, you've got nothing to lose by waiting." Shortly after returning from Dubai, Olivia moved out of her beautiful apartment, because she now had a lot of money. She was now living in a luxurious, overpriced villa with 5 large bedrooms and 8 showers, a large swimming pool, and a caretaker. She bought herself a new car, and not just any car, an expensive Lamborghini. Not a day went by without the media gossip talking about Olivia, glorifying her, and claiming that she was currently the most beautiful, and above all, the richest influencer in Lagos. The biggest brands were jostling to have Olivia as their muse. But Olivia only agreed to sign contracts with brands that offered her tens of thousands of dollars, because she had worked very hard and made a lot of sacrifices to achieve such a level of notoriety. Seeing her new Lamborghini, and the luxurious villa she had just moved into on Instagram, Uchechi and Rebecca remembered that Olivia had told them to contact her when she returned from Dubai. The two poor friends were truly shocked by the speed with which Olivia was raising her standard of living. Then they immediately called Olivia, who was comfortably settled in the luxurious villa. "Hello, Olivia, it's us," Uchechi said. "Who are you?" Olivia replied, sounding annoyed. "It's us, Uchechi, and Rebecca, your friends. You told us to call you when you return from Dubai. Okay, you need to learn to express yourselves better. It's very important to succeed in life. Stop talking like girls from your rotten neighborhood, if you really want to hang out with me," Olivia added. "So, what do you want from me?" Uchechi replied, saying, "Olivia, you told us we'd see each other when you got back from Dubai. That's why we're calling you." Olivia wanted to hang up on them, but she suddenly remembered she was looking for housekeepers to take care of her large villa, and of course, to be at her service. So Olivia answered them. Okay, I come and pick you up in 2 hours, said Olivia. Uchechi and Rebecca was happy to know that Olivia was coming to get them, because they were aware that Olivia could change their miserable lives in the snap of a finger. But Rebecca said to Uchechi, "My friend, I hope Olivia doesn't come looking for us, to kidnap us, and sacrifice us. In case she belongs to a cult." Then the two of them started to burst out laughing. Olivia went to look for them, arriving in the rotten neighborhood, with her brand new Lamborghini. All the residents of the neighborhood were shocked. They whispered, saying, "Little Olivia, who walked barefoot in this neighborhood, is now so rich." Uchechi and Rebecca, for her part, were very excited to get into a luxury car for the first time in their lives. Olivia did not even enter the neighborhood to greet her mother. Back in her luxurious villa, Uchechi and Rebecca could not believe their eyes. It was the first time they had set foot in such a luxurious and incredible house. Olivia was very proud to impress her poor friends because it allowed her to realize even more how far she had come to reach the top. Olivia told them, "Okay, girls, I brought you to my house because I need cleaners to maintain this big, beautiful house. And to take care of me." Uchechi and Rebecca were shocked. They replied, "Olivia, what do you mean? Do you want us to be your housekeepers? We thought we were going to work alongside you, to become rich and famous like you." Olivia started laughing out loud, saying, "You're two really stupid girls. Do you think life is that easy? So you dream of becoming famous influencers? Let me laugh. But what's holding you back? Create your social media accounts, and we'll see who follows you, instead of trying to learn how to wash properly, because you're completely dirty. Listen, if you don't want to work here as a cleaner, get out of my house immediately." Olivia and Uchechi felt they had no choice, especially since the salary Olivia offered them was a very large sum of money that represented at least 3 months' rent for them, and enough to feed their mothers and brothers. Plus, they were going to live in a superb villa with a swimming pool. A few hours later, Olivia dressed very nicely. Then she said to the girls, "You two, listen. I'm going to brunch with famous influencers. Then I'll go to the filming of the celebrity trend show. So you'd better take good care of my house while I'm gone." "Olivia, can we come with you?" asked Uchechi. Olivia angrily replied, "What the hell is wrong with you? I already told you that you're just my servants, and nothing else. Do you see me going out with villagers like you? Stop daydreaming. Nonsense. Go wash up instead." Olivia had a great time at brunch, as usual, with her new friends, the biggest influencers in Nigeria who are worth millions of dollars and live in terrible luxury. Then she went to the famous TV show, where she was the special guest. Olivia answered a few questions. In particular, she said, "The advice I give to young girls is not to be influenced by influencers who sell dreams. And especially do not go out with men for money, because it is very dangerous." When she got home, Olivia started yelling at the guard, because it took him 5 seconds to open the gate after she honked. "Musa, are you crazy? I pay you that much money to sleep. You make me wait outside for that long. What if I get kidnapped?" Nonsense. It had been 6 long months that Rebecca and Uchechi had been surviving as a servant at Olivia's house, because she was really making their lives difficult. That afternoon, after spending the whole day in bed, with her phone in her hand, as usual, Olivia asked Uchechi to bring her something to eat. At the first bite, Olivia started screaming, "Uchechi, do you want to kill me? What is all this salt you put in my food? Or do you want me to have big eyes with all this salt and become ugly like you?" Then she spilled the food on Uchechi, who started to cry, especially since the food was still hot. Then Olivia added, which? A few weeks later, Olivia went with her influencer friends to a private party where the richest men in the country were there to have fun. And by the greatest of coincidences, Mr. George Adolik, the billionaire father of Melanie, her former best friend, was there and approached Olivia. Olivia didn't hold back, on the contrary, she really enjoyed having fun with Melanie's father, without any remorse. After a very wild night, Melanie's father gave Olivia $10,000 to thank her for her impeccable service. She was very happy, because her evening was very profitable. Once home, Olivia sent Melanie's inbox photos of her and her father at the hotel, saying, hey, whose dad is he?" with several crying laughing emojis. It was Olivia's way of getting revenge on Melanie, because she knew it would make her very angry. And that she wasn't going to talk to anyone about it, not even her two best friends, Christine and Sophia. Even less show them the photos, because Melanie was too ashamed. It made Olivia laugh a lot. She was finally getting revenge for the humiliation Melanie had done to her at university. And that was only the beginning. 9 months later, Olivia felt really sick. She consulted a doctor, who prescribed her a treatment. But despite Olivia taking her medication well, the illness did not calm down. She was very worried, because it was the first time in her life that she was sick to this point. Olivia was even more worried and intrigued when she thought back to more strange practices that several men do to her and make her do during her performances in hotels. That night, despite the fact that she was really sick and felt very bad, Olivia made an effort to get to the hotel because she had an appointment with the billionaire minister who gave her the Range Rover. She was very furious and said to him, "Sir, why is it that every time I go out with you, I feel very bad afterward? I have very strange nightmares. And why do you spend your time taking my underwear, under the pretext that it's to smell my good smell, at all times? But what are you really doing with my underwear? Because I am strangely sick, and no doctor can exactly diagnose what I suffer from. I suspect you." The billionaire was shocked, and gave Olivia no answer. He just took his things and left the room, saying, "You shouldn't have made me move if you knew you were sick, and that you can't satisfy me today. Poor girl." Olivia spent several weeks threatening and confronting her wealthy clients, who were doing strange things to her during the action. But they all didn't give a damn about her, and they were even delighted to see her in this state, very thin. Olivia's health deteriorated day by day, and she lost more than half of her weight. She had difficulty standing, to the point where a simple breeze could make her fall. She was now hospitalized in a special public hospital, because Olivia was chased away from all the clinics she went to. In addition, she had exhausted almost all of her savings to get treatment, especially since she could no longer do her job. And all of her clients refused to give her even $1 to get treatment. She had no choice but to be crammed into a room with more than 18 other patients. Rebecca and Uchechi were so affected and helpless by Olivia's deteriorating health that they were forced to go find her mother, despite Olivia having told them not to tell her mother that she was seriously ill. Olivia's mother was truly shocked and sad to see her daughter weaken to the point that she had lost more than half her weight. She cried so much that she almost fainted. After regaining her senses, Olivia's mother decided to go find her pastor. Above all, she decided to take responsibility for getting Olivia out of the hospital in order to treat her at home, with nothing but prayers. Because Rebecca and Uchechi told her that Olivia had been hanging around hospitals for several months, without finding any solutions to her illness. When the pastor arrived at Olivia's luxurious villa, he had severe chills, then visions, and made it known that Olivia's illness was mystical. because the majority of the rich men she dated were insects. And worked with Olivia's spirit in the mystical world, in order to have more money, and to be more powerful. Especially the billionaire minister who had given Olivia the Range Rover. He was the main person responsible for her illness, because his evil snake had already mystically swallowed her. The pastor claimed that it was only Olivia's body that was still alive. But her spirit had already been dead for several months. And that there was nothing more to do for her, because it was too late. Her mother cried all the tears in her body, learning that her daughter would die soon. 2 weeks later, after battling the disease for several long months, Olivia died. Before her mother's helpless gaze, who had only her eyes to cry with. Because she could do nothing to save her daughter. Olivia was buried in her mother's village. 1,500 kilometers from Lagos. Back in Lagos, Rebecca, Anyuchechi, gave Olivia's mother the sum of $40,000. Which they had found well hidden in one of Olivia's travel bags. While they were cleaning after her death. To hand over the villa clean to the owner. The mother was happy to know that her daughter had still saved such a sum of money. Because Olivia's bank account was completely empty after her mother's verification. Her Range Rover was recovered by the mystic minister because he had not put it in Olivia's name. The worst part is that they all discovered with astonishment that even the Lamborghini that Olivia boasted of having paid a lot of money for was actually a car offered by the luxury car rental and sales agency with which she had a partnership. They also obviously got their Lamborghini back. Olivia had in fact nothing more than a life of appearances. Olivia's mother gave Rebecca, Anyuchechi, the sum of $10,000. To thank them for taking good care of her daughter Olivia, despite her insolence. And especially for giving her the $40,000 they found in her daughter's room. With this money, Rebecca and Anyuchechi were able to move into more comfortable homes with their respective families. Olivia's mother, for her part, bought herself a magnificent house. Newly built and fully equipped. In the same neighborhood, because for nothing in the world would she have left her neighborhood. Melanie and her group of girls continued to make fun of Olivia even after her death. Especially laughing in comments in the publications which spoke of the death and the horrible end of Olivia. Saying, "This is the reward of poor girls who are ready to do anything to have money and to appear rich." Several people also laughed in their comments. And others put them in their places, calling them rich girls, unconscious, and social climbers. And you? What do you think of this story? Tell us in the comments, subscribe so you don't miss any of our next videos, and leave us a like to encourage us.